Would the governments of the world want to hide the proof of an asteroid strike? What would if an asteroid was on the way to impact us? Reasons that the government would give to hide from us, and could that ever really happen in the real world? Well, calls mount for U.S. government to bolster planetary defense amid threat of Armageddon. Asteroids collide with Earth every day, scientists say, but in most cases they are small, burn up in the Earth's atmosphere before reaching its surface. According to NASA, the possibility of a larger asteroid striking our Earth is once a millennium type of event, meaning every 1,000 years. Yet this does not mean that two similar events cannot occur even the same year. This is by Alexandra Kasharina. It's on Bennett Reality. The history of our planet has already seen devastating meteor strikes. We have scars on our Earth from these impacts. One of the best known is the Manicouagan crater in Quebec, in Canada, including the one that hit early Earth approximately 66 million years ago and is widely believed to have wiped out the dinosaurs. Numerous craters on our Earth's surface tell us that such strikes could occur from time to time, and there's rising concerns of unpredictable damage. So experts are warning that the threat of dangerous collisions with celestial bodies persists, while there is still no country or agency that has been put in charge of tackling such a threat. Asteroids collide with our Earth every day, but in most cases they're small, so they burn up in the Earth's atmosphere before reaching the surface of the Earth. According to NASA, the possibility of a larger asteroid striking Earth is a once-a-millennium type of event, they said, yet it does not mean that two similar events cannot occur even in the same year. So far, calculations show that the current military arsenal of nations is unable to prevent a collision with a larger asteroid. Some smaller objects could be sprayed or cracked into fragments, but even these pieces would cause considerable damage. The former Air Force space strategist Peter Gatterson said, "No one is tasked with mitigation. Congress did put in a law that the White House identify who should be responsible, but fully 4 subsequent administrations so far have blown off their request." Senator Gary Peters, a Democrat from Minnesota, a member of the Armed Services and Commerce Committee, also said that a possible asteroid strike is among the unique threats to national security, and the U.S. government needs to do more to bolster federal planetary defense efforts. Danica Remy, president of B612 Foundation, which is building a database to track near-Earth objects, says, "There are 3 million asteroids, and we have not a freaking clue where they are, and they are flying around us. We've barely made a dent," she said. Now, Chris Mattman, Chief Technology and Innovation Officer for NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, reportedly shared with the New York Post that any potentially dangerous strike would likely involve a whole-of-government effort response, obviously. NASA set to conduct first planetary defense test mission. Scientists agree that the safest way to prevent a potential Armageddon is to gently turn away, quote-unquote, the asteroid from its trajectory towards Earth, to examine the efficacy of such tactics and assess the consequences. We have set off the DART mission, the Double Asteroid Redirect Test. It took off November 24th. The agency is set to launch the rocket traveling at a speed of 16,000 miles per hour. It's headed for the asteroid Dimorphos. It's a double asteroid. It has a little moonlet going around it. The asteroid is the size of a mountain. The moonlet is the size of smaller. Now, it's not a threat to Earth, but is nonetheless a perfect testing ground to see if intentionally crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid, the little moonlet, is an effective way to change its course should an Earth-threatening asteroid be discovered in the future. NASA said the Didymos system is the ideal candidate for DART because it poses no actual impact threat to Earth, and scientists can measure the change in Dimorphos' orbit with ground-based telescopes. So why are we crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid more than 6 million miles away from us? The mission has raised questions as to who should track and respond to potential threats. Astronomers have outlined several asteroids that pose the largest threat, the most dangerous of which is, until 2021, considered Apophis 2004 MN4, whose diameter is about 325 meters, about 1,000 feet across. It was believed until recently that it could approach the Earth at a distance of about 31,000 kilometers, but scientists later reviewed the asteroid's trajectory and found it to be less of a threat. Observation is a key element of planetary defense, but tracking celestial bodies through a telescope limits the accuracy of the data. Another option is to mark an asteroid with a beacon that would enable its course to be tracked. In 2014, the Japanese Space Agency launched the Hayabusa 2 spacecraft into the orbit of the asteroid Ryugu, and 2 years later the US launched the automatic interplanetary station OSIRIS-REx into orbit of Bennu, which landed on the asteroid 2019. Meanwhile, other experts have suggested that the US should not work alone on the issue of planetary defense. It's not a space war, Thomas Jones said. He's planetary scientist and former astronaut, reportedly told Politico, "We can put together an international response. That's the way to do this," he said. So without international cooperation, there will be disinformation and rivalries and wasted resources, Jones warned. Namrata Goswami, author of Scramble for the Skies, also warned about a potential arms race in space, saying that if China jumps ahead of the US in regard to planetary defense, it will be a game changer. This is by Alexander Kasharina on Sputnik on Bended Reality. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.